Welcome, everybody. I'm getting serious. Mask off for that one.
Mask him off.
Well, for this episode, you should keep your mask on and hide your identity.
Oh, sorry. All right. Okay, everyone, don't look at that first 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
No.
We're all going to be channeling our superhero powers today.
Yeah.
Because this is a special episode.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've ever been in person. All three of us together.
Yeah.
For this show.
Yeah.
Taking up the whole screen here.
Well, actually, you know what? Guys, to keep the artistic intent of the episode here, let me just let's see. All right, now it's in the intended aspect ratio.
Perfect. That's how it's supposed to be.
Now I understand the aspect ratio.
Right, so
this is...
Shout out, Zack.
Good job, Zack.
We do respect you, so, anyway, on with the show.
Yeah, because in case you couldn't tell, today we're doing the Justice League, the Zack Snyder Cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
Yeah.
None of this JOSSTICE League stuff.
Yeah, you guys should have seen my killer tweet when I watched this movie.
What was your tweet?
I said, I wish Snyder made a few more cuts.
Yeah. That is killer. That cuts to the core.
Thank you.
I hope Zack Snyder doesn't see that.
Yeah, because I was like, dude, he's going to fucking annihilate his day.
He sees that. Off.
Yeah.
Did you have a good tweet about this?
Yeah, what did you tweet?
I tweeted it sucked shit, and then I got attacked. That was it. I didn't really have like a clever thing to say. Just a lot of 17-year-olds bombing my account. So that's pretty much it on my end.
Do you have a tweet, Derek, that you'd want to share?
I didn't have
a tweet.
You tweet. I literally just finished the film 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, we should emphasize that. This is the freshest take you can possibly get.
If this is the first movie club we've ever seen, this is not normally how it goes. But this time, like, hey, fuck it. Everyone's seen this. Let's go crazy with it.
Normally it's researched and, we've got, like, copious notes and all that stuff. And also we're in separate locations and beaming in. So this is a little different. This is off-the-cuff conversation.
Well, if you're showing up for the first time, turn this off. Rewind this. Go back to an earlier movie club. Yeah. I mean, we just did Babe Pig in the City.
Yeah, that's the one to see.
2 episodes ago.
Right.
But yeah, for today's episode, for the Snyder Cut, this is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to just review it and talk about it because I don't have any notes.
Yeah.
And I'm coming late to the party. I feel like you guys out there and you guys here probably know more about this movie than I do.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I want to say, just on my behalf, too, I have a little, even though I kind of said something negative about it already at the beginning, I am coming from a different perspective than them because I actually watched the theatrical cut and this one back to back. Believe it or not, I did. Yeah. I went through that.
What a terrible day.
And the Snodden cut.
And as much as I have said something negative, and I've already brought that energy, I think I will end up having more positive things to say than probably you will anticipate. Because that's my context. It's not just walking into this movie off the street. It's actually, I saw 2 things, and there were things I can say, like, they did improve. So I'm going to give some credit where it is due.
Okay, so that's going to be one perspective.
That is one.
I'll tell you my experience of this. Beckett is the biggest DC fan I've ever encountered. I don't. Who cares about DC really? So I thought.
Your kid for people without
my kid, my 13-year-old son. He does not care about. Well, he likes Marvel. He does, but DC is like his fucking jam.
Wow.
His jam. He loves it.
Okay.
And so when he saw the first Justice League, I'm like, wait, what'd you think? And he was just like,
oh, really?
And if he says that, there's a fucking problem.
Yeah, there's a disconnect.
So then I agreed to watch this one with him. So I watched this one with him. So I kind of saw it through the eyes of a 13-year-old boy. So I kind of, going in from that perspective of like, what does he say? What did I think?
Yeah.
Now, Derek, what fresh pair of, what perspective are you going to bring to the table?
Well, I read comic books. I'm a lifelong fan of Batman. It's my favorite superhero. I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the Batman lore and comic book lore in general. but I don't like comic book movies. And so I was totally oblivious to all of the drama with the Whedon cut, the Snyder cut, who directed it, who quit, why, who cares. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rocco, you picked this movie. You said we're going to watch the Snyder cut. So I dove in. This 4-hour film I watched over the series of weeks. It was such a chore to get through. I fell asleep several times, which means I actually had to rewind it and rewatch it, only to discover I didn't miss anything.
So you saw more than 4 hours, technically.
Yeah, it probably took me 6 hours to watch this 4-hour movie over the course of 3 weeks.
And I saw the 2-hour original cut before that, so I saw 6 hours of it too. So really, Sean's the one who watched the least here.
I'm the luckiest.
Yeah, so I feel like I missed everything with this movie, everything leading up to it. And then even when I was watching it, I missed it. I was sitting there watching it, and I felt like it was going, in one ear and out the other. I can't tell you what happened in this movie. It's all a blur. So we're going to talk about it today, and I'll pipe in with my hot takes, but,
Yeah. There are things in this movie that, the beginning, we'll get into that, but, what the fuck is going on when it's just nonstop slow motion footage to songs?
So that first hour and a half of this movie, I was about to call this whole thing. I was like, I can't, do this.
Can we recap what happens in the first hour and a half? I mean, it felt like a lifetime ago. Everyone at home needs to know, when we are going to spoil the movie, we're getting into it, the mother boxes. They're out there. And these are objects. I'm doing my best. I don't have notes in front of me. It's so funny, real quick, because if you try to look up a plot synopsis for this movie, and it all starts with a fucking backstory 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not how the movie starts. Can I get an actual plot synopsis, scene by scene? Because it's all every plot synopsis tries to tell you what the movie left out, So
so to speak to that, Bruce Wayne in an earlier film, I think in Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, he had a vision that some bad shit is going to go down. The world is going to be, reduced to ash.
Was that actually in another film?
That really was.
He kept Batman. Talking about that, and I was
know.
Dude, was this a thing I fell asleep during and I can't find it? I was scrubbing through the movie where is this fucking scene? He keeps talking about it. My God! It was in another movie! What the fuck? Shit!
He was sitting in his chair. He was sitting in his chair in a previous movie.
No! He's piping off all this. I saw this happen. I saw that happen. I'm like, yeah, a lot happened in this movie.
Derek, I've seen Batman versus Superman. And I had the same thought you did.
Oh my God!
Even I was like, "Wait, oh yeah, he did.
Because you told me and this movie's split up into 7 parts, and you're like, it's more enjoyable, I think, if you watch it episodically. So I was like, I'm suffering through this. I was in it for an hour and something. I was like, I'm pausing. I'll come back later, and took it in pieces.
Yeah.
So I really truly thought I had missed a significant scene, and I was like, I'm fucking up. Wow.
Well, now I'm about to clear the whole thing out. You might have a different perspective.
You're gonna like
now.
this.
I'm gonna like this movie by the end of this.
In Batman vs Superman, he's chilling in front of his iMac or whatever. He's about to JO or something, and then he passes out for a minute, and he has this vision where he's in the desert world and everything's all run down, and that's where you see.
That's how the movie ends, right? In this one.
Yeah, but he sees
world.
it again. But in Batman vs Superman, it's almost like he's having a vision, maybe of things to come. Who knows? Is it a dream or is it a vision? Who knows? God. But that's where they ripped off Mega64 in Batman vs Superman. They have Batman in the trench coat with a gun. That's in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah. And by the way, people are probably like, Derek, why didn't you watch the other movies? Guys, this was like a homework assignment, okay? It was a movie club choice.
Yeah.
Watch the Snyder Cut. Mm-hmm. It wasn't watch the trilogy and then watch the Snyder
Wouldn't
Cut.
have done that.
I think this movie put their friendship on the rockiest ground it's ever
been on.
That's what
I really, when I got through an hour and a half of it, I really was like, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it.
I'm gonna lose 2 friends.
Because Derek was like, there was a period of a few days I was coming into work. Derek was pissed off about it. Sean was mad about it. I'm like, nope, I'm scrapping this. That's it. I'm done. But then I found out Sean had to watch it.
I had to watch it with Beckett,
with his kid, and I was like, well, I've already seen it, so it's like, well, it's really just down to Derek.
I started this episode by saying like I don't like superhero movies, and then this is the longest superhero movie ever made, and it's the conclusion to a trilogy that is notoriously bad. So it was like, can you get a harder pill to swallow? Me in my shoes, like okay, So, but that
so the scene in Batman versus Superman, he has this vision of an apocalyptic future, whatever, where he's in the trench coat and he's got a gun, and that's what it's so bad. That's what it's come down to. Yeah. He wakes up from that, so you're like, oh, it's probably a dream, but he sees the Flash like ripping through, like almost like he's coming through time to talk to him. What does he say? Lois is the key to all this. No, and then he disappears. But again, it's like, is Batman tripping out, or was the Flash trying to communicate through time? So that's why he brings it up in this one. Is like something bad's going to be. He mentions it at some point during the movie. Someone said Lois is the key to all this.
And I had a vision. Of Barry coming through the time portal. Which, one of many, many, many long-ass, boring-ass scenes of people just fucking sitting in chairs talking. Like, imagine this podcast, but we're all dressed up like superheroes, just talking for hours about how we're going to save the world.
We'd make it pretty entertaining, though, I think.
I'll get into my gripes with the movie later. But.
Well, no, I'm going to get into one now. I'm going to point out what you just did. When you were imitating what he talked to me about that, whatever. Notice what Derek did. He did a voice.
Right.
I just want to air this beef out right now. Why did everyone make fun of Christian Bale? That was like a joke in every YouTuber's Batman sketch for like 10 years. Where is he? You know, whatever. But then in this movie, you got Batman talking like a Tim and Eric sketch. They pitch shift him down the whole time. I'm like, this is just as fucking goofy, but he gets a pass. What's going on? He gets the Affleck pass.
Everyone was all spent on Christian Bale.
It was, I guess.
No, I think this movie's so bad, nobody cares at this point.
Yeah, it's kind of like not worth singling it out.
It's not culturally relevant to make fun of Ben Affleck in this. People were like, fucking nerds, shut up already.
You look at The Dark Knight, and that movie is pretty spectacular. Yeah. So you gotta find something to make fun of.
Yeah, that makes that stand out more.
Sure.
So anyway, whatever. But yeah, so that happened, and anyway, so getting back to that, this movie begins with Batman begins searching for. He's like, something worse is gonna happen. You know, we beat fucking what's his face in the last movie.
Wait, the first scene is Batman going into a bar in fucking Nova Scotia or whatever.
Yeah.
Looking for
Aquaman.
And not only is that the first scene, that's just like the first 10 scenes. I felt like they repeated that over and over.
Oh my god. And the whole time, I'm telling Beckett, it's like, I know he's going to join the Justice League.
Totally.
Yeah. I know that's going to happen, so can we just get on with it? And why is it in slow motion now? Like, I know he's going to.
This was my first beef with the movie, by the way, in the first, like, movement of the film.
Yeah.
It's this story arc of Batman wants to assemble the Justice League, but the Justice League just doesn't want to be assembled.
Yeah.
And all throughout the movie, you have this bad guy, Steppenwolf, who's doing all this fucked up shit.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to give a crap.
Right.
And in a regular movie, people would not care for like 10 minutes.
Right.
5 minutes, maybe. And then they'd be like, oh my God, this is serious.
Oh, we should care.
But in this movie, that part of the film is extended so long.
Yeah.
It's hours of people not caring. And I'm thinking like, Steppenwolf has just wiped out all the Amazonians. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Steppenwolf just did this.
Yeah.
Now he got the first box of his master plan. And it's just still Batman like, come on, guys, we gotta fucking do something.
Yeah. And it's funny because in the theatrical cut, the original one that came out, the villains were even less interesting. They were CG things that just came out of a fucking hole. Like, it was just like, oh no, should we do something?
Didn't they? Beckett said they, like, smelled fear. Not the other box.
I mean, they're after those, but they made them as generic as possible. Like, oh, aliens are coming. They're gonna do bad shit. better go kill him.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, say whatever you want about them in the current Snyder Cut, they still fleshed them out. They didn't even do that in the original one. It's like, oh, bad CG things.
I can't even imagine what that would entail.
Yeah.
To this movie's credit, and I'll praise this, the action sequences were awesome.
Yeah.
In the sense that they had a lot of twists in them. It wasn't just A to B to C. It was like you thought you got away from Steppenwolf. For example, in that Amazonian battle scene, they kind of like get away from him at first, but then he like comes back out of the ground, I think. And there's plenty of moments in this movie, little subtle moments where you feel like, oh, they beat him. Oh no, there's a twist.
Yeah.
In the action scenes.
Right.
And those were really good. So I enjoyed most of the action scenes. Some of the action scenes, though, honestly, they went on so long.
That's the thing, is I got bored. Same thing happened when we watched, is it Jupiter Ascending? Yeah. Where it's like, there's a lot of effects going on, and I am bored.
It just becomes like a lava lamp.
Exactly. Lava lamp.
Going together.
Yeah. But that was the stuff like him fighting the Amazonians, like you're talking about, that's dealt with in 30 seconds in the theatrical cut. It was like, oh, okay. It's even more like that must
even suck worse.
Yeah.
This was literally the only good part of the movie was the action sequences.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the main bad guy? What's his fucking name?
Steppenwolf?
No. His.
Oh, Steppenwolf was working for Darkseid.
Now, Darkseid wasn't even in the first one.
Wasn't even in it. Again, these guys were CGI things poking around.
He shouldn't have been in it. This movie had so... I wouldn't even... All right, now I'm going to get some shit. Okay, so get ready, everybody. You want a reason to hate me? If you like this movie, here we go. I hesitate to even call this a movie. It's not even a movie. This is like an exercise in fucking... This is like a finger painting... for $1 billion. This is just like, hey, Zack Snyder, you can do whatever you want. Really? Literally, I could do anything I want. And then he just starts scribbling notes. The story just goes off on all these wild tangents. Stuff comes out of nowhere that's not properly set up. And then it just never ends. And it never kind of emotionally gets anywhere. It's just like, and then this happened, and then this...
I mean, you get your money's worth, it never ends. It's kind of nice.
This movie felt like a plane ride. You know?
Yeah.
I was just
waiting for
when do we land?
Seriously. When do we land? Is what I was
hit turbulence
thinking.
again.
Yeah. I was looking at it. It's like you're on a plane and you check the map and you're like, I'm halfway home. All right. You look out the window, like, I got nothing to do here.
And honestly, it's the same. If we flew from here to, like, Chicago, it would be a quicker flight than it was to watch that movie.
Yes.
But I will say, from having watched both, I'm just going to speak in a general sense or whatever, because this was something I wanted to say when we were talking about the intro. You know, the intro or that scene in Joss Whedon's version, he goes to get, like, Aquaman. This is just an example of the kind of things they would do. Was very much abbreviated. And they punched it up with humor, So he goes and sees Aquaman. Yeah, what do you want? And Batman, it's serious. He gets up there, and Batman goes, "Heard you talk to fish," And then it cuts on to the next scene. Now, I'm not a Joss Whedon fan. I'm not a fan of inserting humor into every moment. I didn't think the humor was so bad in the first half of his version. Second half, there's serious stuff happening, and they keep pumping that in there. I'm with everyone. That was not good. But for the sake of moving those scenes along in the first half. So all I was going to say was, I think the first half of Joss Whedon's version might be better at moving things along. It doesn't set up the villains very well. I think the villains were actually set up much better in Zack Snyder's version, whether you like that Darkseid stuff or not. I at least felt like there's a reason they're doing all this. They're trying to get the fucking... What was it? The equation? No life equation? Or what was it?
I don't fucking know.
Anti-life
oh
equation.
God. That sounds like an iDosing song.
Yeah, anti-life. Seriously, it really does. All right, we found the equation. Play it. Boo! Fuck, I don't want to live. But anyway, at least, though, there's a path there. Joss Whedon's version seriously does not have that. It's, oh man, these fucking aliens. I don't know. They're going to do something with these boxes.
I don't blame Joss Whedon. This story, if you had to shorten it, what do you cut? there's no like cycle in the storytelling of like, oh, we have to do this. We did it. But what do you think now? It was just like, it's kind of when a little kid tells you a story and you think it's going to be a 30-second story, but 5 minutes later you're like,
oh my God.
Absolutely.
It was like, hey,
I gotta get out of this.
Hey, do you have a second? Yeah. What's your favorite kind of ice cream? And you're like, vanilla. And they're like, yeah, because I was wondering, because, the vanilla bean and it's just like, dude, no.
How'd I get sucked into this?
Yeah, shut up already.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all I was gonna say with that, But
it's like editing that kind of story. It's like, well, if I take this out, we're gonna lose all of the
It's a House of Cards
saga.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure there's reasons, whatever. I've seen a lot of people online saying, Joss, what were you thinking? Joss Whedon, how could you? What were you thinking? And his version, I want to say, I think the second half of Zack Snyder's Justice League, I think is much better than the Joss Whedon one. The Joss Whedon one, it becomes a Pixar movie of bullshit. Wow. So this is still better than that, but I still don't blame Joss Whedon for anything that he did. He was handed. I know people are. I saw a lot of like, how could he? What was he thinking? What a terrible decision. I don't know, man. If I was handed this and someone told me to cut it down, it'd probably be the same.
The Joss Whedon version?
No.
It would probably be the same. So that I just want to I don't need to go into it that much, but I do think there's a better second half of a movie, and I still don't with Zack Snyder's, but I still don't blame Joss Whedon for the shit sandwich he was handed. That's how I feel.
But as I was telling Beckett, it's like, yo, DC, you had the formula that clearly worked. Marvel did it first.
Yeah.
They did it, and like, honestly, when they first did the first Iron Man, and then at the end when Samuel Jackson shows up, and it's like they're gonna do like Avengers shit. Like, I didn't think they could pull it off, and they fucking did. Like, everyone got in on that. There's like 20 fucking movies of this MCU or whatever.
Yeah.
DC, do that. Like, what are you doing? Like, they fucked it up so hard, and I don't quite understand how you fuck it up when it already exists. You already have the characters that exist and people like. Yeah. And it's like the whole movie, the cyborg thing. It's like, this should be its own fucking movie. Why is this? Why is this in here? Like, this should be a movie that I didn't have to see. Essentially.
Yeah.
God, yeah. There were so many awful parts.
Since they never gave that guy his own movie,
right? They threw it in here.
There's an hour and a half movie of him in here.
Yeah, just put that on its own thing, and then I can avoid that on its own. Like, I don't know why. Like,
Cyborg shit too was also stupid. It's his own movie, but it's a stupid movie.
Yeah.
Within a long movie.
Right.
So we take a pause from the long movie to do the stupid movie about how Cyborg can tap into every computer in the world. Which again is like bullshit. And it goes to this larger question of why does nobody care? There's no the whole time, for me, why this movie was so insufferable was it was just hard to pay attention or give a crap. Yeah. Because everything seemed so unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And everything seemed so unrealistic, which I know is dumb to say, but even down to like the smallest detail.
Yeah.
And I was going to say like there were times where watching this, it honestly reminded me of like watching Saturday morning cartoons. Mm-hmm. And I would start to enjoy it. I said I like the action sequences, and I remember like everything I like about superhero content. But then it would just go to these melodramatic scenes that were trying to be adult or rated R. And it's just like, well, these are not very intelligent. They're not very, like, emotionally exciting. Yeah. I wish those scenes were as exciting as the action scenes. That they had as many twists and turns and kind of, like, storytelling elements. Because it was just exposition of, like, oh, I have to get my satellites to discover the base. I did it. Now we have to go to the base and do this.
Yeah.
All right. What if we don't? No, we will. All right.
Yeah.
But is it a question of in your description of that though? Is it that because this is what I'm trying to? I think we're on the same page, but it's not even that so much that it's not realistic as much as I think we talked about this. Is it that it's realistic or is that it just doesn't have believable rules and stuff? You know what I mean? Like, because I kind of feel like
it's not realistic in the fact. Yeah, Batman looks realistic. Which, by the way, side note.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'll have to do so many side notes. Why is his cape fucking CGI?
I know. That's very easy to make.
Why do they not? Why is everything in this movie CGI, even down to the fact of things you could actually go film? The sunsets are CGI. Fucking Cyborg's light.
That's Zack Snyder's thing.
His eyeball is CGI.
That is his thing. That is his thing.
You couldn't make a mask with a light in it? Like, Garrett will make that shit. You can't make a computer CGI mask with a light in it that looks more realistic than a real mask with a light in it. And if you try to do that, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, yes, in that sense, it wasn't realistic.
Sure.
In that sense, it wasn't realistic.
Yeah.
But also in the storytelling sense.
Yeah,
These emotional beats and the way people respond to the events that are happening.
Yeah.
It's not realistic because people don't even fucking seem to care. Like, Cyborg's dad dies. Nobody gives a shit. Cyborg barely gives a shit.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes later, they're like, well, how are we going to go beat Steppenwolf?
Yeah.
Aquaman is like, is it fair? His dad just died. We're going to go send him in to fight. No, he has to. Yeah, I have to. And then they move on.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, this is not how a person will respond to their father dying.
Yeah.
Like,
but that's what I want to clarify is that you mean realistic from these things that things that feel innately like they should be versus like a man flying isn't realistic.
No, realistic that's not what in the sense of like the CGI looks like shit. And the the story is written like shit.
Yeah,
and on no level does any of it resemble anything that could plausibly happen. Even if we're saying in a world where superheroes could exist.
Right. That's right.
I don't think it would exist like this.
Okay.
This is just.
That's why I want to just cut through that and.
I get people.
I get what you're saying.
Derek, this fucking Superman. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But I want to make sure I understood, and I know where you're coming. I know exactly where you're coming from.
I started dreading when the Flash would be on screen. Just because I knew we'd go in slow motion again, and I just couldn't handle it. Which I thought was, very ironic. It's like, this is the fastest fucking guy on the planet, and I'm just like, oh, it's going to be slow again.
You guys, when you brought it up to me, I think in private just a couple days ago, or whenever it was, that was the most mind-blowing thing I'd ever heard. I think it was you, Sean, that was like, it's so ironic that I groan whenever the Flash shows up because ironically that's going to be the slowest scene. And it's like, yeah, what the fuck? When he shows up, it's they're emulating the X-Men. In the newer X-Men movies, they have Quicksilver, and they had this awesome scene in I forgot the name of the one where he does it the first time, where oh shit, this all these guys are coming, and he slows down time and runs through and like repositions their bullets.
He's so fast,
and does,
but you see it from his perspective.
Right. Yeah, and they did a great job. It's a great scene. And DC was like, we got to do that. And they're just doing the same thing, but more boring.
I have a worse example.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Alfred looks at a cup of water and it's rippling from like the thuds. And I'm thinking like, you guys know Jurassic Park did this?
Right.
And invented it. Yeah. And it is super iconic.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. With the Flash thing going that fast, I'll give you 2 times to do it.
Yeah.
The first time, let me
show
see
me what it's like. Yeah.
The last time.
The fucking time he put the hot dog in his pocket, fuck off with that. To music, seriously, fuck off to that.
Yeah.
And then the second time I'll allow it is when Superman is there and Superman is tracking him. It's like, that shows me something.
I like that part.
Now Superman, he's so fast, he sees your shit.
Yeah,
that's
because
fine.
they set it up earlier in the movie, like, oh my god, this is something only he could do. So that part, I actually did like that payoff of Superman is just looking at him like a normal, like, yeah,
yeah, he's just watching.
I like that.
Okay, that's your 2 times, fine.
Yeah,
but stop after that. Jesus Christ.
I have more to say about it, but as we get for maybe a little further.
I want to get back to the part about my argument about. So many times in this movie, just things are unrealistic. And it checks me out of the movie.
Yeah.
They're building the Cyborg character, and he decides to give like $100,000 to a random woman on the street. You remember this?
Oh,
that was cool.
Yeah,
like, I wish it was me.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, like, you fucked that woman for life.
Yeah,
like,
she's screwed.
She's on the run.
You think the bank is just going to look at her bank account and be like, oh, $100,000, ma'am.
Yeah.
Interesting transfer. Hope that's not related to the money that we literally see Cyborg take out of somebody else's corporate account.
Yeah.
And then that's never called attention to again in the movie. Not like it would, but to me that just raises questions. I go, you fucked up more than you solved.
Those kids are orphans now.
You created more problems than you solved with that scene, so now I'm waiting for like a tie back. Oh, well, we're just moving on. Okay.
But that is something that personally I would not. For me, there are things of that nature I think about, but with that I'm like, oh, it's a cyborg man.
It's time and again though. It's one after, and then that's a tiny example, but then there's larger examples of again. How is Cyborg manipulating all of these government's infrastructures, and Steppenwolf is like launching an attack on the planet Earth, and Batman is literally seems to be the only guy in the whole world who cares. I'm like, where's the American government? Like, I just felt like there were so many more interesting stories that could be told, and I'm really bored by the one that was here.
Yeah.
My mind was wandering throughout this film, just hoping it would get more interesting. I don't know.
One thing that I want to see if I can pull this up. I know this is really unprofessional.
You can do it.
Maybe you guys can. Everyone at home, this is going to become a reaction video because I am going to throw some props to Zack Snyder for a second.
Okay.
Bear with me. There are shots in this movie that they reshot for Joss Whedon's version.
Right.
And if you see some of them, they're unbelievable. I don't know if anyone has posted them online though. Shit. Damn, what a bummer.
Well, can you describe them?
Yeah, but they're like when Lois Lane has a meeting with Martha with Superman's mom or whatever. In Joss, it is unreal the cinematography difference. Now I'm only talking cinematography. I'm not saying I'm not saying it's a good, the writing and this and whatever. I'm not even talking about that. You would be blown away. I'll look it up later and show you guys how Zack Snyder's version you just saw. There is shadow, there's like the steam coming from the coffee. It's shot very noir. In Joss Whedon's theatrical version, it is like The Office. Like it is. They just go in. Well, let's just shoot this real quick. They're against a white wall. Just talk. Yeah. So what have you been up to? Yeah, no, really not much. It is the most flat looking scene. It is like we could have lit it in 5 minutes, thrown up lights and shot that part. And there's like multiple scenes like that. And again, I'm just giving credit. At least not saying anything about the writing, but at least Zack Snyder like put some effort into some of these parts to look a certain way and convey a mood. You would be blown away if you see the theatrical version. Some of these shots, it's
maybe we should do an episode where we watch the Joss Whedon cut.
I don't know about that, but
I have no opinion on any of these things. You keep bringing up the movie we didn't watch.
But it's anyway. That's one prop I want to give.
2 hours, so I'm fine if you want to do it. I mean, whatever.
I just want to give Joss a prop on that one.
Now,
or no, Zack a prop on.
No,
that.
I'm just really quick. I don't know the full story, and this is what I believe happened. And so tell me if I'm wrong. I thought what happened, which is terrible, that Zack Snyder's daughter died.
Yes.
While filming this, so he stepped away because he was dealing with that. Terrible. And they asked Joss Whedon to finish the movie, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So it seems to me like, okay, Joss Whedon seems to be like, yeah, dude, I'll help you out. Like you do your thing. I'll take care of this movie and I'll be done with it. Mm. Everyone is like shitting so hard on him. I get the movie. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like it kind of seems like the guy who's like trying to be nice and stepped in and. Am I wrong in thinking that? Or?
It's actually really funny you word it the way that you did because there are so many stories about what a tyrant asshole he was on set.
Joss Whedon?
Yeah. Okay. And the guy who plays Cyborg has a whole open case right now about the racist activity that he experienced on set. Maybe not related to Joss Whedon, but he had... I'm not sure because I haven't read it, so maybe people can tell me, but he had very bad experiences with Joss Whedon. So he came in
and was just like, I'm the captain now, and was a huge dick.
Supposedly there was a lot of bad scenes.
I didn't know that.
There is a scene in, not to keep talking about Joss Whedon version, but this is kind of funny. But this is just a story of such a thing. But if you remember in the Snyder Cut, there's a part where debris, or like I think the ship, something happened to the ship above them, and Wonder Woman's down at the bottom of this thing, and the Flash runs to keep the ship from hitting her, to keep it from crash landing on top of her. In the Joss Whedon version, he lands on top of her. It's like a fucking anime. Like he's like face down on her chest, like, oh, whoops, like he didn't mean to like land on top of her.
Okay.
That's not in Snyder Cut. He's like, what the fuck was that? That was not originally shot. That was a Joss Whedon reshoot to do that scene. And what's her name that plays Wonder Woman was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want.
No.
Yeah. I had a whole argument about that. Okay, fine. Get her body double in here. Got the body double. I don't really want to do this. They got the body double to do it. Like it's a scene done with body doubles. No one wanted to do that part. But just so there's just stuff like that. People are like, we had really bad experiences.
Okay.
So read about that. Anyway, none of that wacky shit is in this one.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. But
bummer.
Yeah.
Sounds like a little bit of levity. No, what were you gonna say, Sean?
No, I was gonna say that I'll tell you that Beckett was super amped when Martian Manhunter showed up. That was like, he was like, fucking so excited. And I was like, I don't know who that is or what you're saying, but I'm glad that you're so into this.
I just didn't know that whole scene with Lois Lane and Martha talking.
Yeah.
It's like not a terrible scene, I guess, but it's just like deflated by. She turns into the Martian Manhunter. It's like, okay.
And then there's no. What was the point of that? What was the point of that?
Oh, the point. Well, clearly you didn't finish the movie.
I did. I truly did.
He shows up at the end.
I saw that.
And says, "I'm gonna help you someday." So there's your payoff.
So is there another movie coming?
Look, that's the thing is,
it was a planned.
They're not. There's no announcement of another one.
Well, because this movie seems like it just never ended.
Well, Derek,
I gave it 8 hours of my fucking life.
I got great news for you.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's going to be a black and white version with an alternate ending that Snyder has confirmed. So, if you think...
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, well, I read it. I read it on IMDb, which is always accurate.
Yeah.
Hot take. I love Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
The Aquaman character is garbage.
Yeah, I didn't like him either.
And Jason Momoa...
Yeah.
In this role appears like he is unable to act whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like he is a horrible actor.
I have not. Did you see the Aquaman movie? On its own?
Parts of it on television because it was god awful.
I have not seen it, and I heard like some positive stuff about it, but this is my only exposure to him in that character, and I don't like it.
I just think like, he's hot. Let's take his shirt off. Yeah. Was that literally the only fucking creative meeting you had about Aquaman? Like, he's hot, let's make him sexy, get his shirt off as much as possible.
He acts
make him like drunk, make him like a bad boy. It's just pointless.
Aquaman acts like a mad NASCAR fan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the race. You know, it doesn't. That's all. It's just kind of like, all right.
And I agree, Sean. I hated the Barry character too. He was annoying in his own right. I feel like he was arguably the main character. Him and Cyborg.
Kind of.
I feel like him and Cyborg were the main characters. Which in this movie, you really have to struggle to figure out like, what's this movie about? Who's it about? Like, what's the perspective?
Yeah.
I feel like Barry he represented the audience.
Sure. Yeah.
He was the new guy. Like, oh my god, I'm on the team. What's it like to be on the Justice League? Wow.
Yeah.
But then Cyborg had all the emotional, like, I hate my dad and I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
The other three characters had no story arc whatsoever.
Yeah.
With Aquaman having negative story arc.
Yeah. And that's one thing, again, in this version, they pay off the Flash and the Cyborg. Like, their arc does get some form of kind of payoff, you know what I mean? Between what Cyborg's kind of, going through his whole, like, speaking to intelligence thing at the end, and he kind of has a breakthrough and all that stuff. Flash has his, like, trying his best to, like, even just a little bit turn back time. There's at least little payoffs to their thing. The original version didn't even have those. Like, didn't have those moments at all. Those guys didn't have their own movie. So, again, they have to do that here.
Right.
And that just didn't... Yeah, it didn't benefit the whole thing. They should have all kind of had their moment beforehand.
I also got really worried, and I don't want to jump around too much, but I got super worried because, like, the movie's fucking over, and there was no Joker. I must have missed this. Did I, like, not pay attention? Like, I would have seen it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? The movie is clearly over.
Yeah.
What's going on? And it's like, we're not even, like, we've had half an hour of this fucking shit. Like,
the second half of this one, I really think was actually better than the theatrical, but then they hit this new epilogue, which they just shot a few months ago. Like, everything else was years old, but that was new.
Oh, wow.
And that was a mistake to add that. If there's anything paid off or anything concluded, that just sucked the air out of the room. Like, what are we doing?
Also, like, yo, I don't know. It's the same thing like with Batman v Superman. It's like, I don't want them to fight each other. That's boring to me.
Yeah.
Can we just fight other things? I don't know. I don't
Superman,
care.
I said this, Derek, we talked about this, you and I, on the podcast when they showed the Suicide Squad game. And wait, who's the villain in it? Oh, it's Superman. All these writers I know Superman can sometimes be hard to write for, and I think that's what we discussed. Is that sometimes it's hard to have it just be like the goody two shoes guy and da 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 da. But all these writers keep using him as a villain in all these things. Oh no, he went bad. It's like I really think it's the most overused thing.
I would go so far as to say movies and stories are hard to write.
Yeah.
They're all fucking hard to write.
Yeah.
It's hard to get it right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's more likely people are going to fuck it up and get it wrong. What I don't understand is when there's so many movies where clearly people fuck it up and get it wrong.
Yeah.
And yet you have legions of fans defending it, being like, no, they nailed it. And it's like, no, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Most people, like, Superman, it's hard to get a Superman story, but it's just hard to get any. Like, how many superhero movies are really good?
It really does seem like the Injustice games kind of like they do that. Superman's bad. It's like superhero versus superhero, and they're different camps. And there's a comic, and I know all about this because Beckett fucking loves Injustice. It just seems like they're going that route of just like, oh, they're just gonna fight each other from here on out. It's like, oh my god. Like,
I'm so not.
It's so the movie's so melodramatic, and it does this thing in movies where they'll have a really boring conversation that's just explaining a bunch of stupid shit, exposition. And then one character will just end the conversation with the most melodramatic shit you could ever imagine. And then everybody's like, wow. And then it just moves on. I noticed they do this in movies like the Fast and the Furious films. But in this movie, it'll be like, they're talking about how Steppenwolf, well, he's fought guys on all these other planets. You know, he's defeated armies. How are we going to defeat him? And the Batman, I don't care how many demons he's fought in how many different hells. He's never fought us.
Yeah.
And then it just moves on. I was like,
okay.
Was that your answer? The kid had a legit question.
Yeah,
As a serious concern.
We're really trying to figure this out.
You just fucking got all dramatic, diva.
Yeah.
Was that at the end of the conversation?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the conversation with Joker at the end, I felt like was the most melodramatic.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a waste of time.
I actually almost enjoyed it because I wonder if on some level this is how you shouldn't be enjoying it. The whole movie. It was so cringy, I just had to laugh. Knowing the stuff they were referencing, because Joker's referencing when he killed Robin in these comics in the 80s, you know, and that was this big traumatic thing in universe for Batman.
They kind of not show. They didn't show that in previous movies, but we did see shots where he has Robin's costume in his like Batcave or whatever with "ha ha ha" written all over it.
It's a super significant event in the Batman universe. So they have this conversation at the end, like, Batman, do you even know what it's like to lose somebody you love? And then out of nowhere, Joker, oh, he knows. He knows what it's like to lose a father. He knows what it's like to lose a mother. And then Batman like gets all like again melodramatic. Don't you be, what's he say? You be real careful about the next thing you say.
Yeah.
He knows how to lose an adopted son. I can't believe you said that.
That was just very careful.
I just said don't.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Joker like, well, we can be friends if you take my Joker card. And Batman looks at it and he's like, this was crazy. Make no mistake, I will fucking kill you.
Yeah, we finally get the Batman F-bomb. Finally.
And Batman never kills anybody and he never curses. So, you know, as a fan, you're like, oh, they referenced he referenced Jason Todd and he pushed him over the edge.
Yeah.
Ironically, I was laughing like after 4 hours, this is where we've ended up.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
But maybe I should have been laughing throughout the whole movie on that level. Maybe I just don't understand like the Flash cyborg,
you don't get it.
And all that stuff. Honestly, I did feel at the end of the movie or watching it like, this isn't for me. Like, I'm missing something here.
But it's funny, you bring up laughing. The thing that I don't know why that set me off in this movie, it's just after this.
Okay.
When Martian Manhunter shows up at Bruce Wayne's house to tell him Bruce Wayne is so caught off guard, like he just woke up, that that is the worst dialogue in the whole thing. Yeah. Well, good, yeah. I'm Martian Manhunter, and I'm going to blah 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 blah. Well, I'm glad to have you.
Yeah. Who are you?
Did you like? Did Affleck actually just wake up? Like, yo, hey, we'll wake you up right before we record. Okay, like it seems like they didn't write anything there. That was good. Good. That's good. You're here, man. No, that's good. I'm gonna be in my room, but just let me know when you want to fight or something. Like, he just has nothing to say. I don't know why that's.
It's funny. You guys like the ending of this movie was spoiled for me, and in that sense, I mean. I was told that the Joker shows up at the end of this movie.
Okay.
Sure.
Which is the only thing you can spoil, really, about the end of this movie. Because what else is there to spoil? They fucking defeat the bad guy?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they win.
Yeah.
But then, when the Joker scene happened, I was like, oh yeah, this was spoiled for me. But then I watched it, and I was like, what was spoiled for me?
Yeah.
The Joker showed up, okay? They didn't discuss anything of significance.
No. And nothing was done.
It had no bearing on the story.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. It was an out-of-focus conversation for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the big spoiler?
They
have a pointless conversation?
That was the part that felt most to me like a kid explaining a dream.
Yeah.
That whole scene, it was like,
I think that why I think this movie sucks is that anything you could spoil is a non-spoiler because you're just, and then this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what did it mean? Well, nothing. It blew up.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Then all these bugs came in. Yeah, Wonder Woman killed them.
Good.
Going into this movie, Garrett reviewed it on the podcast. He said, I love that Wonder Woman finally gets to use her sword in this. And again, that's a spoiler because it's like, she cuts people with the sword. It does happen.
Right.
It's a culmination of just these events. It was like, if you have a checklist of what you're looking for, cool. You might enjoy this movie. But I didn't have a checklist.
Is it long?
Yeah, my checklist was, when does this end? The epilogue was my favorite part because I know epilogue comes before the credits. So I was like, yes, dude, put your tray tables up and bring your seat backs forward. So I think it's time for popcorn shakers.
Well, one last thing I would really like to include. I think, this is something we haven't touched on at all, and I would be remiss to not include this. I think maybe the worst casting of all time. So bad that I'm not even grimacing as I'm watching. I'm actually laughing so hard because, recast this.
I know
you
exactly
failed.
What you're going to say.
I genuinely think Lex Luthor being Mark Zuckerberg or whatever the guy's name is, Jesse Eisenberg. I think that is some of the worst casting I've ever seen. To shave that kid's head and shove him out there. I don't know.
I 100% agree. And it seems like in that scene, he feels embarrassed to be there.
It is like someone blackmailed that kid and shaved all his body hair off and shoved him out.
There.
Go.
He's thinking, I'm bald on camera.
Yeah.
How big was that check again?
Right.
When does that clear?
They have him acting like fucking Max Landis out there.
Was he in this? What Superman movie was he in? Was it Man of Steel? He was Lex Luthor? He was in one of the movies.
Batman versus Superman.
He was in that.
And he has long hair and looks just like a dork. And then at the end he shaved his head.
He was so... I didn't see that movie.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of it a minute, and it is laughably bad.
It was
terrible.
Embarrassing. I was watching that I thought this guy was a good actor.
I thought, same fucking thing. I was like, you can't act, I guess. I didn't realize.
He's another worse Joker. It was like, this is embarrassing.
It's the thing I said about Jason Momoa. I like Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I love his character in Game of Thrones. He's not around very long.
Yeah.
He was great. Jesse Eisenberg is great when he has the right role. But these characters, I don't blame the actors.
Yes.
No. These characters in this script, it's who could make this shit work?
No one. And I truly think Ben Affleck being Bruce Wayne and Batman, that's not bad.
I really don't think that's a bad choice.
I truly don't care,
It was
honestly.
just boring as
It's
hell.
boring.
It's just the writing's bad.
But the writing's bad. I don't think himself as, oh, you're going to be Batman? Like, I'm not mad about that. That's fine. But,
Gal Gadot, I think, is a pretty great, like, you know, like, they found someone really good for that role, but it's not the materials.
Who cares? Yeah.
So let's popcorn shake this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit, Rocky, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to emphasize, I think the first half, at least Joss Whedon's version moved it along, but the second half unabashedly is better in the Snyder Cut. As whatever as you might have thought it was better. There was actually some stakes. You knew why people were doing stuff. But I want to say, the one thing I did like is that they gave everyone something to do in the Snyder Cut. The Flash only had one thing he could do. You know, he could go so fast that maybe it could reverse time, or Cyborg had his whole path, all that stuff. In the original theatrical version, they all just wait for Superman. Where's Superman? Oh, good, he's here. He did it. So they made that better, but it's still an insufferably long turd.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it a 2 because the one thing I could say is, hey, because of streaming, they did something experimental. You know what I mean? Like, I give props that they did something kind of wild here. I'm not saying it was good, but I do like that streaming has given directors an ability to, like, I'm going to do kind of a weird thing here. They did it. I didn't like it, but I give an extra point for that.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to say.
I will give it 1 shaker. I thought the action, as we talked about, was kind of cool. And there were a couple parts like, oh, well, neat. And then after that, it was like, fucking end this, please.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd do this, but the precedent has been set previously, and not by me. I'm going to give this movie 0 shakers.
Oh, man.
I think that you
My 2's feeling high right now.
I think you are better off not watching this film. If you saw the Whedon cut, cool.
Yeah.
If you saw the other ones, great.
Yeah.
I think life is better having not watched this movie.
I do want to say, I mean, I know I gave it 2. It really is, for the experimental nature of what they did. I want to be absolutely clear. I really think Zack Snyder is my least favorite working director. He makes shit I do not like. So the 2 that I'm giving is really generous. I didn't expect a 0, but a 1 is probably. I thought we were going to do straight 1s.
So I'm giving it a 0, and I seriously put this movie in. I debate whether this might be my least favorite film I've ever watched in my life.
Wow!
I legitimately debate. And
Now we're talking.
I came into this show and I didn't want to be too harsh on it.
No,
Sure.
no,
and
you're
I just
good.
wanted to say,
You're good.
I didn't understand this movie, but to come down to the conclusion, I have to be honest and say I really, really, it was painful for me to watch this. I do give it 0 stars. I don't recommend anybody watch it.
Yeah.
I advise people against watching
avoid
it.
this.
I still, I hate to open
That's
this.
my review.
I hate to open this can of worms.
You can't override me.
I still liked it more than Babe. That's it. That's it. I hate to say it.
That's fine. I mean, I know you do.
Yeah.
And Babe is a hard movie to watch as well, but this movie, it will forever hold a special place in my heart.
Babe Pig in the City, not the first Babe.
Obviously. We know.
And entirely, and I'll be real with you, length.
Yeah.
This movie is too boring for too long, and it gets to a point where it's punishing, and I become angry, and I look, and we still have 3 hours.
Oh.
And it's God.
That first hour and a half, I'm telling you, I really was like, I cannot.
Well, I watched
go forward.
all that came after it too, and so it never redeemed itself.
Yeah.
I could stomach that second half much better. It really was slow motion set to a sad song. How many times can you do that in a career, much less a movie?
Christ. Yeah.
I couldn't endure that.
Yeah.
What you just described is it. So,
but I'm also someone that people like his Watch. I did not like his Watchmen movie.
No.
And whatever. And I was fucking miserable during that opening. That opening of what the times they are a change.
You knew
even
you were
then
in for a shit show.
I was like, I'm gonna fucking die.
Yeah, this
How
sucks.
end this?
Get me
I
out
feel
of
like,
theater.
hey, y'all out there watching this, you just watched us talk about this movie for 55 minutes. You know exactly why I gave it 0 popcorn shakes. The evidence speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You know, I praised what was praisable. I cut down a lot.
You praised what was praisable.
Yeah.
The couple things.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Derek, you have the next pick. What will it be?
Okay, yeah.
Whedon cut. Here it is. Here it comes.
I want to do the Whedon cut. No. Everybody, when I was watching this and reading about it and researching it, everybody talks about how Zack Snyder's an auteur director. What does that even mean? Auteur director. You Google search it, and it says auteur directors came out of the French New Wave movement. French New Wave movement was categorized by one film in particular, supposedly a film called The 400 Blows. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not pulling this out of my ass. I'm just not familiar with any of this stuff. I just Googled it, and I was like, all right, that's what we're going to watch then.
Okay.
We're going to watch a film called The 400 Blows. I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
I don't
know
Have you
anything.
seen it?
Never heard of it.
Know nothing about it.
People, hey, I have a feeling it's going to be a contrast to the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, because it's a porno.
It might be. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to come back. I'm laughing because I just have a feeling we're going to have a lot to say about the 400 Blows.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe we won't. Maybe it sucks.
Maybe
Who
it
knows?
sucks.
But we're going to see if Zack Snyder is an auteur director.
Yeah, put him to the test.
Or this guy, whatever his name is.
And I want to add everyone else out there too. We're going to have the next episode coming up very soon. But let us know, in all honesty, do you like, us together talking like this? Do you like it better, in our previous format where we're kind of in separate whatever? I mean, I find it a lot easier to talk to you guys.
Easier, but is it
you're
better?
actually sitting here. But let us know what you guys think. If you, which kind of format you like better.
Now that we're all
I'm curious.
vaccinated, we can do whatever the fuck we want. So
yeah,
really,
we might fucking open mouth kiss next episode. You don't know what we're gonna do. If we have a disagreement on a movie, it might end in a wet cough, kind of battle. So anyway, just let us know how what you guys think, and I'm gonna say we'll see you next time for 400 Blow. Sean accidentally called it like 40 lashes or something about a week ago. Mm-hmm. And every time that's stuck in my head every time. I keep going like, I better watch 40 lashes. Oh, it's not coming up.
The 400 Blows.
It's not the fucking movie.
The 400 Blows. It's probably a movie about watching the Snyder Cut. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
The title.
Blows 400 times over.
Yeah. I feel like you've been hitting the head 400 times with a frying pan.
One blow for every fucking minute you have to watch.
Anyways. Thanks for watching.
Everyone.
Snyder Cut was pretty good. Not that bad, actually.
Yeah, compared to
turns out I liked it.
Injury.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway. Oh, you guys didn't get to see
we already wrapped the show up.
They CGI'd his mustache in the Whedon Cut.
I know. We ended it. Nobody saw the Whedon Cut.
No JOSSTICE, no peace.
This is the Snyder Cut.
This is going to get Snyder Cut now.